Every time you speak, people are making a judgment. Is this someone that I should listen to, or should I just tune them out? I have learned this the hard way because before becoming a vice president and founding my own company, I spent years wondering why my ideas didn't really land, especially at more executive functions, until I realized that leadership lives and dies by your communication. If you don't sound like a leader, you won't be trusted like one. So, in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you 6 communication shifts to instantly change how people perceive you in your communication in your meetings. You can project authority, earn respect, and start getting recognized as the leader that you already are. Let's jump in. So, the first shift is speak with conviction, not modesty. Most people weaken their authority by hedging, using phrases like I think, or maybe, or just. So, my recommendation is to replace those with more decisive statements. I know this can be hard, especially for women. We have been trained to be humble and modest, and it's more socially acceptable to downplay your ideas, but that is not going to help you in a corporate setting. It just doesn't. So, for example, instead of saying, I think we should maybe test this feature if we have time, I want you to try saying, let's launch this test of the new design and we'll review results on Friday. That simple shift will make a dramatic difference in how people hear what you're trying to say. Those phrases that I mentioned earlier, maybe, if we have time, I think, will discount your core idea. So people will have a very easy off ramp to discount your ideas. Shift 2. Mention dates and when the next steps will happen. This is a very tactical step that you can think about. I have noticed that it puts everyone at ease. If you have already thought ahead and planned what the next step is that needs to happen and when it's going to happen, other people listening to you in the meeting will relax and they will just automatically follow your leadership. If you don't, and you just say, here's the result, and then you don't have a next step and when that next step is happening, people will get anxious, especially in more senior rooms. Executives expect you to have thought ahead, and if you don't, they will not put you in a position of leadership in their mind. So, from the example I mentioned before, when you say, let's launch this test of this new design and review the results on Friday, everyone listening to you will know what needs to be done, what the next step is, when that decision-making process will happen. And if they disagree, they can voice their opinion, but they don't need to worry that you haven't thought ahead. So I really recommend making this a habit, and I think you will see that people will start listening and following you more. So shift number 3 now, stop over-explaining. This is something that is a trap that's easy to fall into, but I would encourage you to try to be more concise in your language. So say something once and you don't need to say it 10 times or over-explain every single detail. My tip here is you can use equal time to see how much of the meeting you are actually talking. This will give you an idea of if you might be over-explaining things or taking up too much airtime. If you are worried that you are rambling or you have been given that feedback from your boss or from peers, then it's highly likely that you tend to meander, you fill the space with more talking, and that is not going to help your leadership. So recommend using equal time to track your speaking time and make yourself more concise. Shift number 4 that I want to talk about is communicate with structure. So this is also a very tactical tip. The suggestion is use frameworks when you're speaking. So when you reply, instead of just sounding like you're off the cuff, I would suggest you say, here are 3 options, A, B, C. So just by labeling it, here are 3, that means that you have thought ahead to the complete thought that you want to express and you have numbered it from the beginning. Another example is, there are 2 possible outcomes, A and B. Just labeling what you're going to say before you say it up-levels your communication and helps your listener follow along so they know how long they need to listen. And they will see you as someone who is more thoughtful and it portrays you as less scattered. Shift number 5, claim your space and speak early. So in a meeting, this means try to speak in every meeting in the first 10 minutes of the call. If you do not speak within the first 10 minutes, there's been research that shows that you are less likely to speak at all in the meeting. So you do not want to be in a situation where you're in a meeting and you are not speaking. That's a negative for your career progression. So in order to get you speaking and having your voice heard, try to just say something small within the first 10 minutes. You could say something like, I want to start by highlighting XYZ. Or before we dive in, one thing to note is XYZ. If you want help on tracking that, Equal Time does help you with this, and you can see if you have spoken within the first 10 minutes of a call. So you can use that if you are concerned. Step number 6 is align your words to outcomes, not tasks. So leaders connect their work to a broader impact. Instead of recapping what has been delivered or the tasks, try talking about outcomes and the purpose. For example, the new onboarding flow that we are building is projected to improve new user conversion by 15% based on our A/B test results. That carries more authority than we finished the A/B test and version A was the winner. In the first example, you explain what the impact is. Your conversion of your new users is going to be higher by 15%. In the second version that I said, I didn't say what the impact is. I just said that something was a winner, but I don't know why or what the impact is, what we can expect for the business. So generally speaking, try to connect your statements to business outcomes, not just the task itself. That will also have an impact of further motivating your team members, so your peers or your cross-functional teammates, colleagues, because they will understand why you or they are doing something if you're asking them to do something. So people will be more bought into it. They were more likely to follow you, which means you are more likely to be seen as a leader because other people are following you. So the more you can give context, explain the why behind your ideas or suggestions or statements that you're making, the more your audience can follow what you're trying to say, and the more leadership you will have. So I hope this video was helpful. Please try these techniques in your next meeting. Let us know how it goes in the comments below. We'll try to respond to everything. And as mentioned, you can use Equal Time in your next meeting to see how you actually sound, get AI tips for how to sound more confident, and improve your leadership. We also have a free executive presence playbook that you can download totally free. It will be linked in the description below. All right, thanks, and see you in the next video.